pluribus unum. Out of many, one. Out of many states, cities, neighborhoods, out of such different perspectives, distinct personalities, so many free and fiercely independent people, emerges one country, one nation. How? How do we move forward as a single nation when our desires seem so different, our views so varied? Not easily, and not quietly.
House will come to order. Votes will be taken in the following order. H.R. 3675.
Senate will come to order. On this vote, the yea.
Answers in America come not from one voice, but from many. Out of freedom flows energy, ideas, and passionate, legitimate differences. Peacefully resolving those differences, finding our common ground, is the challenge of free people face, and the job of those we elect to Congress.
Situation with the ability to deal with this damaged grain, that, obviously the...
Mr. President, I would ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration.
100 senators elected for 6-year terms. 435 voting members of the House of Representatives elected for 2-year terms on behalf of over 300 million American citizens. The House, the larger body, is designed to reflect the will of the majority. In the more intimate chamber of the Senate, the voice of each member can be taken into greater account.
Give the farmers of America the certitude they need that there will
Funding for the school dropout prevention program that is authorized.
The formation of the laws and policies we live by, the balancing of beliefs, opinions, and desires, happens here, in the full dialogue and debate of a freedom hard-earned.
Incredible purchase. We have to do better, and we can. Just a minute.
The price of becoming an independent people is paid in the blood of soldiers and sacrifice of families. Out of 8 years of struggle in the Revolutionary War emerges a new, at first uncertain country, more in fact, a collection of states. The question is how to create a strong nation while protecting the vital role of the states and the personal liberty of citizens. In Philadelphia, delegates to the Constitutional Convention cannot agree. How are the citizens and states to be represented in this new republic? What emerges is to this day known as the Great Compromise. There shall be one Congress with 2 houses. In the Senate, each state will be equally represented with 2 senators. In the House, each state will have a number of representatives based on population. The Constitution of the United States creates 3 equal branches of government: Congress, the presidency, and the judiciary. And Article 1 makes clear that Congress is the branch most directly connected to the people. In Congress shall reside the power to make all laws, to determine taxes, to regulate commerce, to establish post offices, roads, and courts, and, when necessary, to declare war. The delegates believe every power of government should be exercised carefully, in full consideration of many points of view. The center of this new government, its capital, shall be built on new ground, on the crest of a bluff overlooking the Potomac River, at the heart of a new city called Washington. The design of the building is rooted in an ideal ages old, that citizens can build a government driven not by the whim of a dictator, king, or tyrant, but based on the consent of the governed. This monumental structure, built far from available supplies and resources, will be the largest building of its time in North America. Workers, Many of them enslaved African Americans quarry stone, cut and saw timber, lay brick, and finish rough and fine carpentry. By 1811, the capital of the United States houses in its north wing the U.S. Senate, in its south wing the U.S. House of Representatives. The experiment of representative democracy, of electing citizens to make the decisions of government, has been launched, only, incredibly, to be torched. 2 years into the War of 1812, British troops invade the city, sweep into the capital, and set ablaze the center of American self-government.
Right, they evacuate Mecca.
Doubt that the burned out city would even remain the nation's capital yields to the resolve of a now tested nation.
A nation pushing west. New states have joined the original 13, adding seats to the Senate and more members to the House. Congress is where the issues of building a nation unfold. One question overshadows all. As new territories are opened for settlement, will they be slave or free? For close to 40 years, the issue is fiercely debated.
American art, liberty and union.
The government is the creature of the states, making war wants no law. Above all, no civil war, no
In the end, the nation cannot survive half slave and half free, and the country goes to war with itself. The frame of the great dome of the Capitol sits unfinished, but the builders decide to continue, trusting that the nation will endure, that this is not the time to doubt America's future. President Lincoln takes heart. If the people see the Capitol going on, he says, it is a sign that we intend the Union shall go on. Within a few years, the white dome of the Capitol is topped by the statue called Freedom, defining for the ages the national skyline. The new dome reflects an ambitious country. Congress creates new legislation to spur opportunity and growth, while its research arm, the Library of Congress, expands to a dramatic new building across from the Capitol. Also growing is the basic right within this form of government, the right to vote. In Congress, we debate who gets included. Through congressional hearings, constitutional amendments, and landmark legislation, the right to vote will be expanded and protected. The process of seeking solutions to the nation's problems and unleashing the nation's possibilities unfolds over time. Creating and at times reshaping policy and legislation. Some bills pass easily, reflecting a wide consensus. Others pass narrowly. Not every idea should become a law. And with time and perspective, some laws are changed or replaced with new legislation. Through the work of Congress, Ours is a government of, by, and for the people. We change our prospects and advance our cause through what happens here. This is the core, the center of our experiment in political freedom. Curving walls set on a foundation graceful and granite hard. The artistry and care etched here over time reflect our history and celebrate the nation. We inaugurate our presidents here and come to bid them and others farewell. The U.S. Capitol is our national stage.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution?
Sir, Mr. Brownback, Mr. Byrd.
We, the people, are represented in the votes of the members, the cadence of the roll call, the balance between prudent compromise and bedrock beliefs. Congress is the crucible where views and ideas from every corner of the country are expressed, examined, and debated, considered, and considered again.
Yeah, you have to pass the act if you want to know what's in it.
We can find our common ground. These walls have been tested. Their strength does not crack. E pluribus unum. Out of many, one.
Or out of one many, as Al Gore said.
All right, show of hands. Who saw the president in this video? That couple in the back. A couple down here. All right, would you mind telling me where you saw him?
Relaxing in that chair.
There you go. Yeah, for those who didn't see him, he was in the Senate chamber earlier on. In this area, in the Senate chamber, just hanging out.
Yeah, did you notice his leg was just like the China doll in the movie Oz?
Well, at this time, please take a look around, make sure you haven't lost any belongings, and make your way up the stairs where you'll be greeted with your guides to the doors. I've got some information for the groups. The groups in-house, if you're in Kangling group, you're in lane 1. If you're in Oakdale, you guys are in lane 2 and 3. Oakdale, you're in lane 2
Oakdale
and 3.
Theater, Wallingford, Connecticut.
You are in Meadowlands. Meadowlands, you guys are in group 4 and 5. Again, my name is Mark, and enjoy your time.
Meadowlands, NASA Coliseum. Grateful. Yeah, God does good work, doesn't God? Does anybody feel bad because your First Amendment right to remember was abridged during the movie when you couldn't make a record of it on your video? Does anybody feel bad you have a ... hole in your video memory that you can't review this wonderful film with your mother and father and minister and classmates and professors when you get back to home? Nobody feels bad about that yet? Well, you're young. You probably figure you can do it again. But maybe as you get older, you'll feel, I want the evidence with me when I get home, not somewhere else. All right, Mecca, is there any reason we should not leave this area now?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Make your way towards me, please. Please make your way towards me. We're going to go up the staircase, all the way to the top rows, and all the way over. Thank you. Guys, if you can make your way towards me, please. Make your way towards me, please. Thank you. We're going to fill all available seats, starting with the top rows. Go all the way to the top and all the way over. Thank you.
It's a free country. Let's
Keep coming this way, guys, please.
try to do this without being ordered around here. It's too much like an indoctrination center. Let's try to do this ourselves without this constant chatter.
Go all the way over, guys. I need you to go all the way over.
No, we need you to be quiet and let us do it ourselves. We need to do this ourselves. We don't need a MC for our national capital.
There you go, just like that. Thank you.
It's self-correcting, self-educating, self-seating people.
All right, if I can have a group to use the closest staircase, we're going to go all the way to the top and all the way over, guys. All the way over.
No, we don't want this voice in our head as the idea of what our government's about. We want self-educating, self-governing, self-seating people. We don't want indoctrination and orders of every move that we make while we see our capital. We want to figure it out ourselves. We can figure that out. We sit in the college classroom ourselves without being told how to do it. God willing, who hopes we sit in the college lecture halls without being told how to do it? I think we can find our seat here without an MC. We want these kids to go home learning, hey, we did it ourselves. We can govern this country. We don't need a party leader or a whip to tell us where to sit. He's a nice guy. He was told to do that. He just didn't really think about it. Question authority respectfully. Let's make a play about it for the Oakdale Theater. Let's put a show on at the NASA Coliseum in the Meadowlands. Let's put it on about self-governing tours where you actually experience self-government during the tour. Is anyone else trying to get in line? Are you guys on a different line? Okay, Oakdale. Self-educating, self-governing people.
Anyone else from Oakdale?
All right. How many more? Caitlin, where are y'all?
Caitlin, come on up, guys.
We're just going to switch you off.
Next, right into the cattle chute. Come on. Hey, let's have some signage and let us figure this out. I mean, a lot of us got through, what is that game, Rubik's Cube? I think we can figure out how to get through a maze. Let's have some signage and make it fun. You guys can stand around. If we screw up, we can ask you. You don't have to tell us. How about that? We figure it out and you're there so we can ask you if we need help. It's a big difference. Self-governing people. Figure it out yourself. Have authority around to ask if you need to. That's what a U.S. Capitol police officer said to me. Don't help them unless they ask.
Can someone Caitlin go into lane 1? You guys will end up in the same place, is that okay? You already have a headset, same place? You already have a headset.
What's your idea of fun?
You are in a little bit. Yeah, stay with your group. And you will be with lane 1.
All right, thank you. Although it should be self-explanatory. We'd like to know why we're in what lane by signage. Head them up, move them out, rawhide, you know. They start to feel like cattle instead of like citizens. It's not your fault, you're good people. It's the people that designed it that forgot about self-governing people. There should be signage.
Here, would you like a headphone?
No, I'd like a sign that says I could get a headphone. But I'll take one if that's the only way I can get it. Is it been sanitized? How do I know it's clean? There's a hair on it. Are you liable if I get sick or an infected ear because of this?
Not sure.
Well, then find out, because you could change these ear pads each time and have sterile ear pads. If these people get sick because someone put something on the ear pad, you're responsible. This is self-governing, self-educating people. These are nice people in the red coats, but they have been taught to do this. It's the script that's the problem. We need to rewrite the script. No talking to the tourist unless they ask a question. Signage that explains their choices. Sterile pads on the hearing aids. I hear something in there all times. These are basically good people. They simply got a script that somebody in hotel management wrote instead of a constitutional artist. And we can rewrite the script. Here's the Senate Library, a historic box if I ever saw one. There's a script. Look at the laws and the books. Real artifacts. No law shall be made abridging the right of free speech or assembly. And it's an abridgment to be told where to sit. Okay, we covered all that twice. Is there anything else you or I need to know? We weren't allowed to record during the movie. That abridges our free speech right of memory. Here, are we ready to go? This should be a little speaker or something so you don't have to put a dirty pad on your ear. Or there could be plastic bags you could put over these, like the dry cleaner puts your clothes in plastic bags. The redcoats have us hypnotized now. We won the revolution, but the redcoats hypnotized us 200 years later. Come on, Mecca. Hi. That's good, Mecca. Stay. That's good. Stay. Did you have a good tour? Could you see what you wanted to see? Ready? Go. Good, Mecca. Heel. Mecca. Good. Come on. Hi. Hi. Here's some new stuff here. Hi, boss. How you doing? Something about coming this direction, Mecca. Hi. Are you being brave and being fair, you guys? Hi. Right here. Statues in the crypt. Graven images in the crypt.
Right over here.
Right over here.
This way.
Good.
I'm going to get in the front if you don't mind.
Thanks.
Welcome to the United States Capitol Building. Keep turning here on the platform on the tour of the Capitol Building. Thrilled to have you. And if you want to tell me where you're from along as we're walking through the Capitol Building, please feel free to tell me where you're from. I'm from Alexandria, Virginia. What we're going to see on the tour is this room here, the crypt. Upstairs, the rotunda, statuary hall. Notice the artwork. And I want you to pick out someone on the tour. Someone from the past who changed the future, who took risks to change the future, to make our democracy what it is today, who might have changed people who did not have freedoms in the past. So today we can express our freedoms today more freely. So look for people on the tour that I talk about or you see the artwork. Here at the Capitol Building, we usually use this table for people who are visually impaired. They have braille on the street name here. They can touch this. So this is just for them. Look at this. Or touch if you like to, and I'll get out of the way. You can touch see what the buildings feel like. Now, right in the middle here. Actually, this, even though this doesn't look like the middle, most of the middle of Washington, D.C. is right here at the Capitol Building. That's where we are here. We have Northwest and Southwest Washington, D.C., and Northeast and Southeast Washington, D.C. Now, in the middle of the dome, right here where we are, George Washington's dream was to build a Capitol Building in 10 square miles. 10 square miles all around the city, with this federal city. Now, George Washington laid the cornerstone in 1793. The people who built the Capitol Building we brought all over the world. There were slaves who made their own bricks, so we have thousands and thousands of bricks behind the sandstone wall, and other people around the world building the Capitol Building. The north wing was built first. That's this wing right here on this side. The south wing was built second by 1807. The British came and started burning both sections. So we rebuilt those sections. This center section wasn't here yet, but it was built by 1824 without these wings. So it would have looked like this.
24. So 31 years later.
Yes, exactly. 31 years later. The tomb to George Washington is right below this floor. It was agreed from Congress with Martha Washington to have George Washington's tomb in the Capitol Building, one floor below here. That's why we call this room the crypt. However, George Washington is not buried here. He's buried in Mount Vernon, Virginia, 15 miles south of here, since his will stated that he wanted to be buried in Mount Vernon, Virginia. And that's why we call this room the crypt. Every state has 2 statues in the Capitol Building, either bronze or marble. They paint for the statues, and they're here. We'll see them along the way. These 13 surrounding us are the first 13 original colonies. Anybody here from the first 13 states? Here? What state are you?
Massachusetts.
Right here, the man holding his arms like that is Samuel Adams, designer of the Boston Tea Party. Anybody else? Connecticut. Right behind me, Roger Sherman. That's the reason why we have a bicameral Congress. And he was a drafter of the Declaration of Independence. So besides Connecticut and New York. The bronze statue on the other side, he's a little darker. He's Robert Livingston, was a drafter of the Declaration of Independence. Chancellor of New York, Robert Livingston. Anybody else? Pennsylvania, right here. Usually I'm standing on another side. Yeah. Pennsylvania was a Lutheran minister and a Revolutionary War general. Right here. John Peter Gabriel Muhlenberg. Anybody else?
So is that why the taxi cabs used to have maps in them? Because we have northwest and southwest like here on this map you're showing us?
Exactly.
And is that why we're losing our capital to New York City, that they have meters and are going to make the cabs all the same colors now?
Maybe. Maybe. But it was original, the capital used to be in New York and then moved to Pennsylvania, and now we're here.
Because the Pennsylvania militia would not defend the Congress when they were attacked or something, if I remember. Is that right? And didn't George Washington? Okay, Mecca. Come on, just keep up, Mecca. Good. Hi.
On the bicentennial, June of 1976, the copy of the Magna Carta. They did really 12, 15, 18.
Is that when Lady Di and Prince Charles visited the Library of Congress to read our Constitution?
They might have come here in the 1970s.
I think, yep.
Please follow me. Well, we have to stop for a second. Can you come back just a little bit?
Yeah, I'd love to be well.
Let this tour group go first.
Hi.
Do you mind if we go?
Hi.
Once this tour group is finished, we're going to take 3 steps, turn left, and go up 33. Is that okay?
Okay, thanks.
Now it's on 30.
Samuel Adams teaches if you're going to make a fist, have a scroll of law in the fist before you hit him.
Turn left here.
And we haven't declared war in a long time.
Right this way.
If you go to a fight and there's a knife, you bring a scroll of paper in your fist. Good, Mecca.
Going to the right. Right up these stairs.
Good. Hi. Be brave and be fair. Help end the apartheid at the U.S. Capitol. Let's ensure the place
Watch your step, please be careful going up the stairs.
get equal access for everyone. Three-minute line, up and over. Come on, Mecca. You're pausing, huh? You know authority when you feel it? Good, Mecca. Okay, good.
Stop for just a second.
Good.
Tom, can we go this way?
Yes, sir. Or yes, who?
Right this way.
Yes, my friend. Abraham Lincoln. His top hat's in the Wizard of Oz movie now. Hi. Good. How are you? This is where we used to pray up here with by the Lafayette statue. It's moved. They got Reagan where we had Lafayette. Or maybe it's Eisenhower. Thanks. Yeah, alhamdulillah, holy ground. Wow. Yeah, we used to pray here, man. Put our face on the ground. Oh, wow. Alhamdulillah. Hallelujah. Yeah, look how crowded it is now. I see. We need to build a second national capital near the Rocky Mountains and split our sessions to better unite our country. Rapid City, South Dakota is interested. So is Flagstaff, Arizona. See, there's so much directing and choreographing, you lose the whole sense of self-correcting, self-educating, collaboratively self-governing people. It's hotel management, pack them in, pack them in. We got to do something. You cannot expect the clothes of the child to fit the growing adult. Thomas Jefferson said that. It's at the Jefferson Memorial. Stay here. This is Alhamdulillah. The pluribus unum. If we were in Islam, we'd all walk in a circle in here so you could get around. It's called tawaf. Albert. Well, hotel management designed this system. It's not been designed by a constitutional artist. We got a problem here. How are you? We need to have everyone walk in a circle, like Abraham taught us at the oldest house of God. Everybody walks in a circle, slowly, so we all get close to every part.
How's your dog doing?
Thanks for reminding me. I tend to forget my dog when I get excited. How are you doing, Mecca? Loving it, loving it. So many people are kind to us. Thanks for asking. And now it thins out. This is about manageable. Maybe you have a group stand in the center, everyone else walk around, then you get your turn in the center. That's where Lafayette was, over there by Kansas. Separation of church and state. There are Roman gods and Roman goddesses here, like in Chicago. Ronald Wilson Reagan, 666. Grade B movie actor who served as the frontman for the former CIA director who got himself elected 5 years after resigning the CIA directorship when his Iranian agents kidnapped some people and his military buddies sabotaged the rescue. Therefore, be it hereby resolved, a 15-year moratorium between the time you're director of the CIA and the time you can run for high public office. A bleeding heart conservative resurrected as a compassionate conservative.
Depicting 411 years of history, different years in American history. It's going to look like sculpture.
Sculptures.
Sculpture. Creeds of American history, starting with Christopher Columbus. Above him, you'll see an airplane and a woman with a shield to the right, Christopher Columbus. Constantino Brumidi, here's painting the apotheosis hall.
Yeah, here's Chris again here.
William Penn and the treaty with the Indians. And Constantino Brumidi almost fell. He was 75 25 years old at the time. He had been painting for about 2 years, and it was the year 1880, and his chair fell to the floor of the rotunda. And he was still up 60 feet above your head, hanging on to a ladder. And he didn't fall. Someone saved him after 15 minutes of time. He had arthritis in his knee, and he really couldn't climb up and down. But someone saved him. But he ended up dying 4 months later. But within that 4 months' time, he designed the rest of the frieze, except for one problem. Italian artist, another Italian artist, Filippo Costagini, took over, and just after Romita died, just painted up to across from you. Just see all the way on the opposite side, people looking for gold in the gold rush with axes in their hands. Right to the right, you'll see people shaking hands at the end of the Civil War, north and the south. But look to the left of them, right in between, you see a tree. At that tree was the last scene that Filippo Costagini paints, because Romita didn't design any more scenes to paint. It was a math error, and he thought it would fit behind an entire 360-degree circle like it did. So the last 30 feet were left blank from 1889 to 1951, the 20th century. So in 1951, Congress hired a man named Alan Cloud to paint the last 30 feet, the last 30 feet. Before the Spanish American War. The whole frieze spans 411 years of history. Now their American history here, Revolution and Explorers on this side. These are original paintings, original to the rotunda. Sandstone walls. You see the Hernando de Soto, sun shining on him. Hernando de Soto, being a Spanish explorer, was the first European to view the Mississippi River. And in the painting to the right, you see red, white, and blue flags in the background with the Native Americans right in front of him. And that was in 1541. The next
smallpox.
To sail the ocean. In 1492, he lands in an island named San Salvador, holds the royal banner from Spain. The pilgrims leave the old world for religious freedom. In this time, they had left England already. They were already in Holland and getting ready to leave Holland. This is the embarkation pilgrims. William Brewster is the man in the middle holding the Bible. On the top left-hand corner is a symbol of hope, red, white, and rainbow. Pocahontas in the next painting was baptized as Rebecca. She marries the man behind her in the Jamestown colony, John Rolfe. They get married, they go to England, and she dies at the age of 22. Those
broken-hearted.
On the opposite side,
and Jamestown colony failed.
Blind in one eye. His name was John Trumbull from Connecticut. He painted all 4 paintings, and they were placed on the walls earlier than any of the other paintings here. The earliest painting here. The Declaration of Independence being presented to John Hancock in Philadelphia with Thomas Jefferson in the middle, with the red vest with Benjamin Franklin and John Adams on either side. The next painting would be Surrender of Saratoga, New York, British General Burgoyne, surrendering to Horatio Gates. The next scene we'll see at Yorktown. George Washington on the right-hand side with the Americans, but previously the French were included in the war to help them out. So now on the left-hand side, George Washington, second in command, General Lincoln on the white horse. And this painting is called Surrender of Lord Cornwallis at Yorktown, where Lord Cornwallis sent in his second in command to surrender. In the State House in Annapolis, Maryland, in the next painting, George Washington resigns his commission as Commander-in-Chief General of the Army, Continental Army, and he becomes President George Washington here to your left. You'll see President George Washington on the opposite side of the room to the right of the doorway. That's one of 2 statues from the state of Virginia, bronze statue. Martin Luther King over here is the second way we get statues. That's a commissioned statue unveiled on his birthday in 1986. Have you seen any risk takers yet on this tour? You might see one in Martin Luther King. He was a leader, civil rights, but he earned his PhD from Boston University, earning his Nobel. He was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in the 1950s.
And he got plagiarism charges against him.
And he's a bronze statue there, the bronze bust in marble base. On the other side, you see 3 busts of 3 women suffragists. Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Susan B. Anthony, Lucretia Mott, might have been others, risk takers. Working for women's rights to vote until 1920. Women did not have the right to vote. So from 1787 until 1920.
George Washington.
Abraham Lincoln
Okay.
was unveiled in 1870, 5 years after he was assassinated. It was completed by a woman named Vinnie Ream, who was 18 years old when she was commissioned. So an 18-year-old woman, her name is Vinnie Ream, Vinnie with a V. Abraham Lincoln was...
Mary was 14 when she gave birth to Jesus.
And the lying estate of Abraham Lincoln was here in 1865. We've had 30 lying estate ceremonies. Daniel Inouye from Hawaii was the last person to lie in state. We had 2 Capitol police officers shot in 1998 in the Capitol building, and they were
Gibson,
lying in honor.
like the guitar, Gibson.
And Rosa Parks lying in honor.
And a Supreme Court police officer named Gibson got shot after this one.
On the ceiling, the Bourbon is out of many women. In the first floor, you might have seen that.
It's on the money.
How many?
Actually, the Declaration of Independence is on $2 bill. George Washington.
What's the meaning of this?
Of 13 colonies, out of 13 colonies became one country, or out of many people. Out of many people, or out of many states, became one country, one population. United together, there you go, united together. Any questions here?
How many times did the Continental Congress ask George Washington to lead the revolution? 3 times before he said yes. Why did he say no the first 2 times? He said, you don't have enough money yet. Cross-reference $17 trillion in debt. Yeah, you go to Mecca and we solve this problem. We all walk in a circle peacefully 8 times around the oldest house of God. Everybody walks in a circle. Yeah, like Twaf. Good. Let's build a second national capital near the Rocky Mountains and split our sessions to better unite our country. Do you notice in the frieze up here, all the people have the same face? The painter used his own face for every character in the frieze. Comment about genetic diversity also. The Jewish people in New York made a movie called Aeon Flux about the very same issue. And I think Martin Luther, I don't know, did Martin Luther King beat the plagiarism charges? What happened on that? The main thing was he wanted to succeed so much that he read important documents. That's the important thing. Perfect heel, Mecca. There are only horses and the only animals of the horses that made it in the men and horses. No other kinds of animals in the pictures yet. There's Haley. Wow. Cool. Hi. Here's a staffer with his guests. The elected officials used to walk down the middle here. There was like a cordoned off lane for the elected officials to walk amongst us. Now it's so crowded they can't do that. So we need to solve this problem. What should we do? Go up a floor and come down to get into the next room? So this could be open for the elected officials to walk through here? And then we could be in there when they walk through where we are in there? I think it's a message that we're supposed to build a second national capital near the Rocky Mountains and split our sessions to better unite our country. We sort of outgrew this one. Look how crowded it is. It's Brazil built Brasilia. Australia built Canberra. How come we haven't built a second capital yet? Our mafias are too unwilling to let go of their power on the East Coast politicians. Hi. Come on, Mecca. Hi. Come ahead. Good. Good. Can you see him? Come ahead. Where's your lightsaber? Good.
This group is moving. Please come closer. We're just going to let your group pass on the right. Can you come closer and fill in all
Come
the
here,
space?
Mecca. Come on.
Behind me or in front of you, right there, the eagle. Right underneath the eagle would have been the Speaker of the House.
Sorry.
Over here, and here would have been 142 representatives.
Oh.
Filling this room, 5 rows of desks in stadium-style seating so they can see the Speaker of the House. 237 representatives in here in 1857 when they left. So they went from 1807 to 1857, 142 to 237 representatives here.
100,
However,
double,
this
almost.
room was too crowded as states were added, so they moved down the hallway to an extension that was added in the 1850s. That's where they meet today in the House chamber. Around you are statues from the Statuary Hall collection. I'll go over that in just a second. But there was another reason why they left here, and I might demonstrate that in just a second. I would like to do that for you. If you are standing on this side of the room, you can hear a conversation clear on the opposite side of the room. Because of the shape of the ceiling, sound's going to travel, hit the ceiling, and bounce off of it and land on the opposite side. John Quincy Adams could hear that. He was sitting right behind me. He is amongst 8 presidents who served in the House of Representatives. John Quincy Adams. Over here, Abraham Lincoln, 1847 to 1849, served here from the state of Illinois. John Quincy Adams was inaugurated president here, but he was the only president who served in the House of Representatives after he was president. And there were 17 years that he defended against slavery. He was an abolitionist. If you were on one side of the room, you would have been for slavery. On the other side of the room, against slavery. And that tension was in the room with the echo. So if you couldn't hear what the Speaker of the House was saying, you weren't in the right place. You had to be in the right place at the right time just to hear the Speaker of the House speak. So we're about to get on a spot of John Quincy Adams, and I'm going to go to the opposite side of the room in just a minute. As soon as that group leaves that spot, you get on that spot. In front of you is Liberty and the Snake and the Eagle. You'll see Genius of the Constitution. The snake represents a bundle of sticks called fasces, civic authority. Civic authority. The snake represents wisdom. Liberty up there on the balcony. And the eagle represents standing strength and power. Strength and power. Now behind you, there's a lady called Cleo or Clio, the Muse of History. She's flying through time. You might see a little tiny George Washington on a little part of it to the right of the clock. But it's flying. She is flying through time on a winged chariot. And as she's flying, she looks behind her. She actually looks at history happen. So she writes history in her book as she sees it happen. This room was named National Statuary Hall in 1864, inviting each state to donate individuals who are deceased. 2 per state. You have to be deceased to make the statues out of that person, and bronze or marble being used as the material. unique to the Capitol building. Spread out throughout the Capitol building are state statues.
No Mecca. No.
Statuary from
No.
1864 when the President Abraham Lincoln signed
Sit.
it into law. 100 statues today. Helen Keller from Alabama. She's one of the statues in the visitor center.
Yeah, you can touch her statue. You can touch Helen.
There's parts I'd like to show you after this, so everyone's going to be able to hear my voice. Please come to this side. Stand on that side. You're going to hear my voice a little bit better if you stand just a little bit on here. You might not hear my voice. To the middle, John Quincy Adams pretends to be asleep, so position in the conversation. So you're going to remove your headphones and try to get as close as you can to the spot of there. What I'm going to do is pick up my headphones.
This is why the one-party consent law to record is important. In Massachusetts, it's a two-party consent law to record. So they can stop you using your iPhone to record on a public sidewalk because the other person didn't agree. Does that seem right to you? You can't make a video on a public sidewalk?
Oh, totally. No, I had to eat my fudge cookie.
Yeah, that's not right either. There should be USPS mobile locker system to put your important stuff in. Outside, or where the coat room is, but they make us throw it away. And they don't give us anything to replace it.
Please put your headphones on and please follow me. And as soon as you can. And again, my name is Dallas. I don't know if you can hear me. Please follow me this way. I'm going to go to the left. And if you can't hear my voice, please come to the front.
Yeah, see, I didn't put this one away yet.